Welcome along to your deep dive into what looks like, well, a really cracking Premier League match coming up. Aston Villa versus Nottingham Forest.
Hello.
We here at Tips Moto, we've been digging into all the info you shared, and we're ready to bring you the crucial insights for this Saturday evening game at Villa Park.
Yeah, it's set up nicely, isn't it? You got two teams, both grab big wins midweek, both with eyes on Europe next season. Should be a good one in the West Midlands.
Definitely. So here at Tips Moto, our plan is to, unpack the form, look at who's fit, who's not, and highlight some interesting angles for this one. We want to give everyone a proper understanding.
Exactly. A full picture.
Okay, let's start with Aston Villa then. From our perspective at Tips Moto, what's the lowdown on their current form?
Well, our analysis at Tips Moto, it really flags up a Villa side that's, well, they're flying. Simple as that. 6 straight wins in all competitions. That's serious momentum.
And that 3-0 against Brighton recently.
Yeah, that was pretty commanding. And, we saw from our data Marcus Rashford finally getting his first Premier League goal for them. That's massive. For him, for the team.
Absolutely. And we noticed, too, at Tips Moto, you had Marco Asensio and Daniel Malin both scoring off the bench in that game. Shows the depth Emery has, doesn't it?
It really does. And then there's the Villa Park factor. Our data shows they're unbeaten in, 14 Premier League home games now? Incredible.
Is Arsenal beating them there all season? That's some record.
It is. And something else we've seen at Tips Moto, that resilience. They've actually come from behind to win 3 home league games this season already.
Wow.
Yeah. If they do it again, it's a new club record. That tells you a lot about their belief, especially at home. Their league form overall, looking at our stats, has had a couple of draws, a loss before these recent wins, but that 6-game winning streak overall, that's the headline right now.
Right, momentum is key. Now, team news. What have we picked up at Tips Moto? Any potential headaches for Emery?
Well, our info suggests Morgan Rodgers is maybe a slight worry. Pick up a muscle thing against Brighton. We're keeping an eye on that Tips Moto.
Okay.
But like you said, Asensio and Malin, they look sharp, didn't they? So there are good options right there. Ross Barkley, Leon Bailey. There's still concerns, need and a knock respectively. But we think Bailey might just make the bench. That'd be a boost.
So a bit of juggling maybe, but decent cover. Based on what we know at Tips Moto, what's a potential Villa starting 11 looking like?
Okay, our projection at Tips Moto would probably be Martinez in goal, naturally. Then maybe Cash, Disasi, Mings, Digna across the back.
Standard enough?
Yeah. Midfield, we're thinking Kamara, Tielemans holding. Then Asensio, Ramsey, and Rashford behind Ollie, Watkins up top. But, always subject to late fitness tests.
Of course. Okay, let's switch tracks. Nottingham Forest, they also had a brilliant midweek result, right? What's our take at Tips Moto on where they stand?
Yeah, massive win for them. Our analysis at Tips Moto really highlights that 1-0 against Manchester United. That's 5 wins on the bounce now for Forest across all competitions. That's impressive stuff.
It really is.
And you look at their league position when we compiled this analysis, plus that FA Cup semifinal coming up. Yeah, they're playing with a lot of confidence, clearly.
They must be buzzing.
Oh.
But our team at Tips Moto, we also looked closely at their away results in the league.
It's a bit different, isn't it?
That's a really key point we flagged at Tips Moto. Defensively, away from home. They've let in at least 2 goals in each of their last 4 league away games. 13 conceded in total in those 4. That's not ideal.
No, definitely not ideal heading to Villa Park.
And this is the interesting bit. Our data also shows this is actually Forest's best ever top flight away win percentage season. So despite leaking goals, they somehow find ways to get results on the road. They've got a knack for it. All right, so they can be got at, but they can also hurt you. A bit unpredictable away from the city ground. And there's a bit of history here, too. We saw at Tips Moto, they're aiming for something special against Villa.
Exactly right. Our research shows they're going for their first ever Premier League double over Aston Villa. They won that comeback game 2-1 back in December. Elanga got the winner.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so they'll definitely believe they can do it again. Adds a nice edge to the game.
It really does. And their recent league form, just focusing on the league for Forest, what does our Tips Moto analysis show there?
Let's see. Our data has it as loss, loss, draw, win, win, win. So picking up nicely after a tricky patch. And across all competitions, as we said, it's draw, win, 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 win. They're definitely coming into this one hot.
Okay. Team news for Forest then, based on our Tips Moto insights. Any major ins or outs?
Well, Chris Wood, he's still looking like a doubt with that hip problem based on our information. But the good news for them, we think, is Callum Hudson-Odoi should be back. Missed the United game.
That's a plus for their attack.
Definitely. Defensively, though, Ollie is out calf injury. And Alex Moreno, he can't play against Villa, his parent club.
Lone rules.
Exactly. So that means it's likely either Murado or maybe Harry Toffolo starting at fullback, one of those spots.
Okay, so a couple of Forest changes there, particularly at the
Sure.
back. What's our projected Forest lineup then from Tipsmoto?
Right, our anticipated 11 at Tipsmoto would be Salsa in goal, then maybe Williams, Milenkovic, Murillo, and probably Murado filling that left back slot.
Makes sense.
Midfield, perhaps Dominguez and Anderson. Then Alanga, Gibbs-White, and Hudson-Odoi playing off Taiwo Awoniyi, leading the line. But again, this is just our current assessment from the info we have.
Got it. So wrapping this up then, from our perspective here at Tipsmoto, it feels like a really finely balanced, intriguing game. Villa's amazing home form versus Forest's recent winning run and that potential double.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. Our analysis at Tipsmoto definitely points towards it being tight, probably exciting, Villa pushing for the Champions League, Forest wanting to solidify their strong season. Lots at stake.
Loads at stake. Feels like it could genuinely swing either way at Villa Park.
It really does. Should be a good watch.
Definitely. And well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive, which has been powered, of course, by the expert analysis you only get from us here at Tipsmoto.
We hope we've given you a really solid picture of this Villa versus Forest game.
Absolutely. And listen, for even more expert betting tips, for deeper analysis to really give you that edge, make sure you head over and visit us right now at www.tipsmoto.co.ke. Don't miss out.